Hey guys, I am back with another Christmas tree tutorial, and today I'm going to teach you how to take daytime pictures with your DSLR camera and your cell phone. So just like last time, we want to make sure we have one temperature of light, which this time is going to be our natural daylight. So we want to make sure that all of our overhead lights and our lamps are turned off. To get that nice creamy bokeh with the sparkly Christmas tree lights, we need some space between our subject, so my son, and the Christmas tree. So you can see he's not sitting right on top of the tree. There's actually probably about 3 feet, 2 to 3 feet between him and the tree. And then I am closer to him than he is to the tree. So that'll give you a nice compressed background with that sparkly Christmas tree light look that we are going for. So from there, I just had him sitting in a chair holding some presents. I'm giving him prompts. You know what works for your kids to get them to laugh. A good one that I always go to, even with my clients, is like, "Ooh, you have stinky feet. Don't put your stinky feet on me." And that seems to always get some giggles. So I'm using my 35mm lens right now because we don't have a big living room, and so I don't have a lot of space to back up. I'm shooting it at about, I want to say a 1.4 to 2.0 so that I can get a bokeh background. If you don't know how to shoot in manual, you can put your camera in auto and it'll probably give you pretty good results. If not, you could put it in aperture priority mode. So then you could pick the aperture, and I would put it as low as your lens will let you go, and then your camera will pick the rest of the settings. So now I'm doing the same thing over again, but this time with my cell phone. So with the iPhone, I put it in portrait mode, and I still have him about 2 feet away from the tree. I backed him up a tad because I wanted more of the tree to fill the frame. But once I get him where I want him, I pull up the portrait mode, and what you'll want to do is click on your subject's face, and that'll tell the camera where to focus and what to blur. So I would definitely check these pictures because I took some and I noticed that I had the phone had missed the focus where only the presents were in focus, but then his face was blurred. So I would definitely, they call it chimping, where I would take a picture and then look at it and make sure it's how you like it before you move on. But that is what I'm doing here. And he was all done and he earned his marshmallows. Now I took the pictures that I shot on my DSLR camera into HDR. If you did not shoot in RAW, then you can skip ahead to the part where I talk about Photoshop. And again, like I talked about last time, there are free demos to Photoshop and Lightroom that you can use. I just did some very basic editing. So I fixed the white balance a little bit. I could have done it in camera. I just chose to do it afterwards because I guess I was being lazy when I took these pictures. So I fixed the white balance, I increased my exposure, I brought down some of the highlights, I upped the shadows a little bit, and I think I added a little bit of warmth with color grading to the midtones and the shadows. And that's pretty much all I did. You know, these didn't need a lot. These were just quick and easy fun pictures. From there, I took the pictures into Photoshop. What I'm doing here is getting rid of some of that darkness under his eyes. So how I do that is I create a new layer. I use the content aware tool to kind of patch that skin under his eyes, and then I bring that layer opacity way down. That just lightens up under his eyes. It's a personal preference. And then what I did is I cleaned up some of the little places on his face. I straightened and cropped just a little bit. The last thing that I did with these pictures is I used a quick mask to paint on his face, and then I added a levels layer. On that level, I took the highlights and just pulled them in a little bit. It just adds a little bit more brightness to his face. It gives it just that one little extra pop. And then from there, I sharpened and saved. So these are really easy to edit because we're not dealing with the darkness that we were in the last set. So I think that's what makes these so fun, because they are so quick and easy. So if you watched my magic Christmas tree pictures at nighttime video, you saw that I added these overlays with Christmas tree lights. I got them on Etsy. They're very affordable, and it just can kind of boost the brightness of your tree. So I added it to some of these just to give it that little extra. It was totally not necessary, but I think it makes it kind of fun. Okay, now we're finally to the cell phone pictures. So these are the pictures that I took with my cell phone in portrait mode. I haven't done anything to these are straight out of my cell phone. You can download Lightroom on your cell phone for free, and then you can purchase mobile presets. Totally not required, but I think it's a great way if you don't have Photoshop on your computer, or even I use this for my cell phone pictures just to make my cell phone pictures look a little better. I'll link the presets that I use in the description box below, but if you search for mobile presets, there's tons of them and you can pick a pack that fits your style. So all you have to do is import the picture you want, you go through and you pick which preset you want. For when you're doing pictures like this, you want to make sure that you apply the same preset to everything for that consistency look. Here I am just cropping it up a little bit. And I went over to that light tab and I brought the exposure down a little bit. I also decreased the highlights a little bit and I increased the shadows just to tailor it to how I like. And then I went over to the color tab and added a little bit of red because I thought it looked kind of green on my phone. And that's that. Then you just export them to your camera roll and you have professional looking cell phone pictures. So then here are my befores and then my afters of the pictures from my cell phone. And then here are my final pictures off my camera. I hope this was helpful. I hope you feel inspired to go take pictures yourself, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. Bye guys.